Hi everyone, Catherine here. Welcome to my channel, Cat V Stitches. It is Saturday the 11th of June. Sorry, have to think about that. The old grey cells are a bit tired today. Yeah, Saturday the 11th of June. It's about 1 PM here in the UK and it is a gloriously dull day. What I thought I would do today, instead of just doing a normal Flosstube, normal the WIPs I've been working on, is I actually thought I would do a mid-year WIP parade. I hadn't actually planned on doing one of these, but since in the last 3 weeks I've done only a teeny bit of stitching, I figured that this would fill the gap, so to speak, because I don't actually know when I will be doing my next Flosstube, if it's going to be in another month or another month and a half or whenever. And the reason being is that I've not actually got that much stitching done in the last 3 weeks, because about 4 weeks ago, about 3.5 so weeks ago, I got a puppy who is now 12 weeks old and, as predicted, is a hurricane of chaos. So she has been keeping me very busy. When I've not been at work, I've basically been, eagle eye on her. The cats have basically taken to living upstairs and she is now downstairs. Occasionally one of them will meander on down, take a look at her, and then either meander out or meander back upstairs. So I think, though, considering nobody has tried to attack the other, apart from Pooch getting a little bit excited sometimes and, jumping near them, nobody has done anything drastic with each other. So I'm hopeful that in the coming weeks, maybe month, and when she calms down a little bit, there'll be a bit more intermingling. But so far everybody seems happy with their, the cats, like I said, upstairs, and they'll come out when they want to, or during the day when she's in her little area. When I'm at work, they'll meander on down and go outside and whatnot. So yeah, I'm hopeful. Let's just say I'm hopeful that eventually there will be full-on intermingling. But other than that, she is gorgeous and, like I said, chaos personified. And all this morning I have been puppy proofing my back garden, because I have slabs out there in the main part of the garden, and then they're surrounded by, I've not got that big a garden, I live in a terraced house, so it's not big, but it's enough. And surrounding the paving is stones, and then on top of the stones I've got like potted plants and whatnot. But as I kind of thought she would, but I kind of hope she wouldn't, she's very interested in the stones, and especially interested in putting them in her mouth and chewing on them. And yeah, so I'm continually having, whenever she's out there, I'm continually having to chase after her or keep her on a lead and take things out of her mouth, which luckily she's very accepting with. But it's not fun for either of us. So today, bright and early, I went to B&Q, which is the big DIY chain here in the UK, and bought a load of meshing to mesh to place down, just to stop her from being able to pick up the stones, and it seems to be working. So I'm absolutely shattered, but I can, well, not necessarily leave her out there by herself. I can, take my eye off her for a second and she won't come back with a massive rock in her mouth. So yay. Anyway, moving on from that, if anybody is interested, I might either insert a video or grab her and show you how she's doing in a little bit. But so I do apologise if I keep looking down. It's just literally checking on her to make sure she's not doing anything, because you know what they're like. Second your back's turned, they put something in the mouth that shouldn't be there. Like last week so my carpet cleaner is being used more than it's ever been used, predictably, and one night I'd used it just before I'd put her down for the night, but I'd forgotten to wrap the lead up properly. Now, it wasn't plugged in, thankfully, and the next day I had just popped upstairs for a minute to grab something and not, so she had free reign of the dining room as she normally does if I'm in the house, and came down and she was chewing through the wire near the plug. So she'd got through the plastic covering, but thankfully hadn't managed to damage any of the wiring inside. And again, like I said, thankfully it wasn't plugged in, so I just got some electrical tape out, wrapped it up, and it's working fine. But it's one of those things where I was literally gone for 30 seconds and she'd managed to bite through the plug. She's not done that again, thankfully, and she's not interested in anything now. She's only ever been interested in the wire to the carpet cleaner. She must have something against it. But anyway, if I continually look down, I do apologise. But thankfully, I've just literally had my hair done again, so at least my roots aren't atrocious while I'm bending down. So what are we going to do today? As I said, not much stitching has been done in the last 3 weeks, so what I thought I would do is a little mid-year WIP parade. Now, I'm not going to do like a full year, like an end of year one where I'm going to show everything I've finished and blah blah blah. I'm just literally going to show you all the WIPs that are active at the moment, and one finish because I finished this since my last Flosstube, so I just thought I'd show you that as well. Excuse me, I'm still trying to give up my Diet Coke, but every now and then I do have to have some kind of carbonated beverage or I would go insane, because I'm drinking so much water that I'm sure work thinks that there's something wrong with me, because I'm literally having to go to the toilet every 40 minutes or so. You can set your clock by it. You know, it's all very well being healthy and drinking all of this water, but oh my god. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm getting my steps in, you know, because I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos. The toilets are a bit of a trek away from where I'm situated, but yeah, it's a bit inconvenient when you're having to go constantly. So, where to start? I have my list here. I have a box here and a bag there, so let's get into it. So, actually, I don't know if I have said this before, because I started this about 10 minutes ago, then the dog decided to have a pee on her bed for some bizarre reason. She's never done that, so I had to sort all of that out, and then I was too flustered to remember what I had and hadn't said, so I just thought, sod it, I'll start it again. So if I have already said this, I apologise, but this may end up being 2 videos depending on how long this goes on for. Yes, so the first part of this then, which is the live WIP, and obviously the second part will be the kit stash that I have done. My finish. It is my Plum Street Buzz Off. Put something behind it so you can see it. And there we go. Oops. There we go. I'm going to say I love it. This is a battle I have every time I start one of these videos, because I know I say absolutely love it, or I love it, or this is great, or I'm loving this. But do you know what? That's the reason I'm stitching them, because I do absolutely love them. And this one, that bird, just gets me every single time. So there we go. Oh, sorry, you can't see the crown very well from a distance. I don't know how I'm going to FFO this yet, because there is a companion piece to this that is going to be one of my starts that I'll come to when I'm going through the kit stash. So for now, this is just hanging up on a hanger in my office / spare room, but I am absolutely loving it. Now, there are a few adaptations in this flower where I got a bit carried away and didn't quite follow the pattern, but I just absolutely love it. So that is Plum Street Buzz Off. I always want to call this one Eat Crow, which is the other one, but it's not. This is Buzz Off. So there is my FFO. It's a miracle that I was able to finish that one. This was when I first got her home. She seemed to be sleeping a little bit more in the evening, so I was able to do this, but now she's just a ball of energy, and if I'm lucky, there'd be like half an hour or an hour before she goes down to bed where she's chilled and peaceful. Although saying that, she has now just fallen asleep down there. Let me show you. Give me a second. Let me see if I can do it this way, so I don't have to move this camera that I've got set up here, because I'm using my phone on this, although hopefully for my next video I'll be able to use my computer and my webcam. I have I've got my work computer, which obviously I would never use for this, but my home computer is this crappy 4 RAM. Well, it's not crappy, I've had it for many years and it's done me good, but it's very slow and you can't really do anything on it. What the hell am I looking on for here? So that's what I'm wanting. Bear with me 1 second. Ignore the mess, by the way, I'm going to show you this. There you go, let me show you. There she is, fast asleep. So I don't want to disturb her because, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of her being like that. So anyway, as I was saying, my computer is this, you know, it's this slow thing that's fine if you're just wanting to do some basic stuff on there. But I've wanted to use that for ages to do these with I've got a webcam and do the, you know, the quick editing on there. It's so much easier than on your phone, where it just takes forever to upload it onto YouTube and whatnot. But I didn't also want to shell out for a brand new computer when it's just for, you know, this. So first of all, I took it to the computer shop near me to see whether or not my actual computer could be upgraded, you know, the RAM and the memory up to 8 or 16, and unfortunately it's so old that it can't actually do it. But he did actually have some repurposed laptops there that could be upgraded, and basically I've done that to this really nice laptop that's barely been used, literally still has the original box, and it's a third of the cost of getting a comparable new computer. So I was like, winner winner chicken dinner. So hopefully next time I'll be able to record these videos on that, and then it won't take me hours afterwards to get everything, you know, edited. Then you have to download it from the editing thing, then upload it onto YouTube and blah blah blah. And this is using your phone, and it takes forever. Anywho, let's get going. So that was my FFO. Sorry about that, you know what I'm like with going off on squirrels or, you know, on tangents, but it's exciting for me because I've not got myself a new computer for over 10 years. I've always just used work computers for work stuff and this old one for that, so it's yeah. I don't actually know why I told you that. Anyone used to my videos will know that this is just I just, you know, talk about everything and anything on these videos, which is why I can never do a short video. But sorry, I'm excited about it, so I thought I'd share it with you. Moving on, that was my FFO. I have 3 WIPs that I've kind of archived, so that when one of my other WIPs are done, I'll move on to them. And one of them is going to be a restart, which is on my WIP Go board. So when the number comes for it, I'll start it then, and that is the Blue Flower Night Walked Down. So this is one that I'd started on 28 count, and it was one of the, so I'd started it on this 28 count platinum, which is a gorgeous piece, which is a lovely piece of fabric, which I will be redoing, but I'd miscounted and I didn't like how it looked, and I wasn't happy stitching it. But I kept on going for a little bit, but I just wasn't happy stitching it on this 28 count. I thought, no, you know, I've now moved on to stitching on either 32 or sometimes 36 or even 40 count. So what I decided to do was to start this on 40 count. So I've got this gorgeous truffle from Picture This Plus. Now this is coming up beige in this light, but this is actually a pinky peachy kind of colour, but I'm going to be doing it on this, and this is 40 count. So when that comes up, like I said, on WIP Go, I will restart that. The other one I've got is a Autumn Lane Stitchery Current Mood, oops, sorry, so that one, and I'm doing this on a 28 count Sea Witch by Chromatic Alchemy, and that's my start on that. So I'll probably get this out in October, if I'm honest with you. So my other one that's the archive, I think I'll be coming, it's a Heaven and Earth one, and it's a Marjorie Sarnet called Deko. So let me show you the picture. There you go. Now I did start this, I absolutely love this, but after I started it, I figured I needed to finish my other Marjorie Sarnet that I've got on the go at the moment, which is Flutter, which we'll come to in a minute. So that's why this isn't one that I'm abandoning or anything like that, just literally I'm going to wait until I finish Flutter before I start on this one. Okay, so those are my archive slash restarts. Next on the list are my current WIPs. So these are kind of in date order as to from oldest to newest, but because I've got more than one project in some bags, it may be a little bit of skipping about. But let's start off with Flutter. This is in a bag that I made myself using the Varna Pfeiffer project envelope tutorial that she did, with just a few adaptations, e.g. where I couldn't do what she did, so I just made something up myself. So Flutter is this Flutter or is this Deko? This might actually be Deko. No, this is Flutter. Right, okay, so where I have pictures, where these are ones that I started, I'm not going to show you where they were last time. What I will do is show you what they looked like at the start of the year so you can see my progression. So there's a couple that'll have these pictures in, and then the rest will be ones I've started this year, so they won't have pictures attached. But this one I did start last year, so I will insert that picture, and here is where we are now. There we go. So I have completely done that eye and filled in the fur to one side of it, and I have started on the white under here, but doing white on white is never fun. This is on my WIP Go, so when my WIP Go board, so when the number gets called again, I will stitch on this again. But yeah, I'm loving this. And I don't think I actually showed you what this is supposed to look like. Oh, let me just show you that now. It's supposed to look like, so as I said, this is a Heaven and Earth. This is on 25 count easy grid, and that is what it will look like. So that's Marjorie Sarnet, and that's Flutter. Deko, which the other one I'm actually doing on 28 count, and I'm doing that 10 half stitch, whereas this is 25 count full cross. I wish, well no, I do actually like what it looks like on here, but if I started this now, I would do this on 28 count 10 stitch because it is quicker. But it's fine. I enjoy stitching on that, so you know I don't regret it. What else? Oh yeah, so this is one that it's not in date order, but it's in the same bag as this, so I just thought I'd show you this. It's another Haid. It's a mini, and it's Evening by Leonid Afremov, I think. Not 100% sure. This is just a mini, as I said. I think I started this. Give me a second. I started this one. Yeah, I will insert a picture on this one because I started this one in October 2021. Flutter I started, by the way, just in case you're interested, in March 2021. So I'll insert that picture, and this is what it currently looks like. There you go. Now this is on 28 count and this is on 10 stitch, and to me the coverage is great. So it's let me clarify even further, it's 10 stitch 2 over 1, so it's 2 threads over the one whatever. Sorry, mind gone. But yeah, this is on my WIP Go board for this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit my targets for this month and possibly next month, but I do intend to catch up on any targets that I miss. So yes, that's evening. True. I'm sorry for any crinkling, by the way, but I am going to be putting these away because otherwise it's going to be a total mess here. There you go there, that goes there. So next one, this one I started again in March 2021, and this is Ink Circles, the Big Red Ship of Life. Now this is another one of these where if I were to start it now, I would probably choose either a 36 or 40 count, but this was done in March 2021, and at that point I was only really doing 28 count. But I do actually really like this, so absolutely no plans to restart, and I'm quite happy. I'm doing it 2 over 2 using it's a Silks for You PRO 34, this glorious red. It's a little bit darker than what it's showing on the camera, but so I'm using that, and I'm also using for the border 115 from DMC. Now, did I hear somebody say that they've discontinued that? I hope not. But anyway, so I'll insert the picture of what it was like at the beginning of the year, and this is what it looks like now. So I have almost finished this top border here. There's just, I think, 2 or 3 left to go of these single motifs, not pairs, but just the single thing, maybe a pair or something there. So I'm words struggling today, so I apologise. But there we go. So this is 28 count Platinum's just Zweigart. I didn't think it needed any fancy colour on this because I wanted the red to show through, and I absolutely adore, there you go, I'll use a different word, I absolutely adore this one. So there we go. Now any of my project bags that I have bought, the details of where I've bought them are in the are down below, and I think this one is a William Morris. Maybe, no, this isn't a William Morris, sorry, this is from Patchwork Paw Print on Etsy. So I love these ones. They're nice and big, so I do like that. Okay, next we have Lindy Stitches Mary Needleworker, which will look like that when it is done. And as anybody who watched my last video, you'll know that I have finally finished that skirt, which was a beast to do, but looks absolutely glorious. And again, since this was started back in, funnily enough, March 2021 again, this was done on 28 count, but I don't care because it looks lovely. I did for a minute contemplate restarting it, but I was already halfway through that skirt, and then by the time I finished it I was like, nope, I think the effect is lovely. I'm very happy with that. And the funny thing is, for ages I just didn't stitch on it because I was just, for some reason that skirt seemed to defeat me, because I was doing it 1 stitch at a time, back and forth, and I just thought, my God, I'm never going to get to the end of this. But I made it my 25/7 piece and just did a little bit every day, and what do you know, I think I was able to get in maybe 2.5 to 3 rows, and then a little bit more as I worked my way up where the skirt is narrower, and it got done, and I'm very happy with how it looks. So that now is just back in my standard rotation. There we go. Here you go. This is one of my original bags that I made, where I actually got the things to match up. Okay, next one is my Kathy Barrick Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. This one I started March 2021, but I did the sensible thing and did this on 40 count because this is a beast. There we go. J'adore this pattern. I'm doing this 40 count vintage country mocha. Very happy with how it looks. This was my first foray into 40 count, and I mean, I have absolutely crappy eyes, so I have reached the end here now, by the way. I have crappy eyes, so I have to have full magnification and light whenever I'm doing this, but I love stitching with one thread. This is 1/2, and this is primarily using the DMC. It calls for, as I think most of her Kathy Barrick and Carriage House sampling, they do use a lot of NPS's, needle points. I've got 1 or 2 of them, but I found I didn't really need to use most of them because the DMC is glorious anyway. Their colours are lovely, especially when you're using one thread and it looks as neat as this. So I am very happy with that. Now that tree, the branches I have miscounted on 1 or 2 of them, but I can fudge it. It'll still work out perfectly fine. So I'm not frogging anything on there. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I would have I'll have inserted in the picture on there. She's fast asleep down there. See, this would have been an excellent time to do some stitching, but you know. Okay, so next one these are 2 Cricut collections, actually, my next 2. Now there's a little bit of a leap here, so Sleepy Hollow. Where is it? So I love Cricut collection. My favourite designer is Vicky Hastings from Cricut Collection. I have a ton of patterns and a ton of the Cricut Collection patterns, and they're going to appear in my stash dive because there's a couple that I want to do over the next year. But ones I've got on the go at the moment are Cricut Collection Sleepy Hollow, which I am doing as a triptych like this with the 3 panels because I have mastered the art of flat folds, so I know they no longer scare me. So I have been working on the middle panel. This is on 28 count on fabric I dyed myself just using RIT dye. It's a tinsy tiny bit lighter than what it's showing up, but the mottling is coming through on there. Very happy with the colour. Those are the 2 outer ones, and here it is. And I have almost finished the central one. I've just got to finish the tree over here, but other than that, this is done. I had to change the colour of thread used for the wording at the bottom, the Sleepy Hollow there, because the called for was virtually identical to the colour of this fabric, so I just needed to lighten it up a bit. But I'm very happy with this, and I cannot wait to get back to it. Problem is, as with most people, is that is the same with all of my WIPs because I'm stitching on them because I enjoy stitching on them. So I want to do them all. Okay, so after Sleepy Hollow, so that was 28 count. It was originally 28 count platinum or cream linen by Zweigart, and as I said, I just dyed that. My next one is Cricut Collection Skeleton Crew, which I started in October 2021. Yeah, and there we go. So, and please do ignore my nails, which are an absolute disgrace. I broke 3 of them today alone trying to sort all that stuff out in the garden. So yeah, so again I'll insert a picture in what it looked like at the start of the year. And this is on 28 count Valour by Pictures Plus. And there we go. So I have completed 3 of the sails, and that is the full length of the boat there. So yeah, and I'd begun working on the moon. Pop this away. Itchy nose. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. It wasn't ladylike to show that on camera. So those are my 2 spooky cricket collection that I've got on the go at the moment. There we go. Excuse me 1 secondo. Okay, so the next one would have been evening, but I've already showed you evening, which I again started in October 2021. And the next is the first of my current long dogs. So that is You Belong to Me. Oh, having a stretch down there. You alright, sweetheart? Yeah. You Belong to Me, which I started December 2021, but I won't insert a picture in because basically the bulk of what I've done has been this year, and you'll have seen it in my videos, so it's not really worth inserting a picture. But this has been done on a 32 count. Let me just, nope, that's one that I will be starting eventually. There we go. So that is what it looks like. Gorgeous pattern. I am using DMC 718. And it is on, what's my fabric on this one now? You Belong to Me. It's 32 count Vintage Gray Zweigart linen. And it's 2/2. There we go. This is full of adaptations, shall we say, where I keep forgetting about the issue of import when it gets imported onto when it gets imported onto Pattern Keeper. I won't go into that now, but I keep forgetting every time I come to a page break and end up having to either frog stuff out or just try to make it work. But yes, so that is that long dog, and then I do have another long dog which is Pointed Fifth, which I started in January, so again there'll be no picture inserted, and that is, oops, that's this one. And I'm doing this on 32 count, I think it's Witchel, which you can so tell the difference between Witchel and Zweigart. It's a lot more crinkly, but it's still, I have absolutely no problem working on this. So this is Amazing Grace, and I'm using another Silks for You, and that is what I have done so far. This is a glorious purple, which, there you go. It's not a DMC one, although I could have, but I had this purple Silks for You, so I thought, sod it. This is PR158, and it's just such a lovely, like, royal type purple, and it is glorious to work with. I mean, I know, you know, absolutely nothing wrong with DMC, and the bulk of my things are on DMC, and like lo and behold is on DMC, but silk is so nice to work with. Okay, just fold this up, put these 2 away. I had not intended to have 2 long dogs on the go. but I fell in love with both of them, couldn't decide which one to do, and just ended up doing both of them. I do actually have another one that I'm not going to start until one of those is finished, and that's Lo and Behold, but that's not a planned start because I think it's going to take a while for me to finish one of them. So okay, so the next one I actually started in December 2021, but kind of like dead on the end of the year, so I'm not going to insert on a picture because practically everything that's been done has been done this year. And this is the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Sampler. Now this is the first of this is a drawn thread that I'm actually going to keep for myself. The last two I gave to my mum. So this one I'm keeping. There you go, can you see that a bit better there? And this is being done on, I think is this 32 count? Sorry. Yeah, this is 32 count Zweigart Natural. Now I think it's more or less the called for fabric, but they say 1/2, but I do not like the coverage of 1/2 on 32 count. Me personally, I don't like that coverage, so I'm doing it 2/2, and there we go. So I think this just looks so pretty. The lettering at the bottom, the alphabet at the bottom is in the wrong colour green. I know I've said this before. It should actually be a darker green. So what I'm doing is I'm going to finish up stitching everywhere else, and then I'm going to see how I feel about this, and so whether or not it needs to be dark. I might do a letter or so in the dark colour and see which I prefer. I haven't decided yet. It depends if it bothers me. But I love how it took me that long to realise it was the wrong colour green, but you know, these things happen. This bag, so the bags I've got that have the vinyl fronter from Patchwork Paw Print, the ones that don't are from Not Enough WIP bags. I think that's what it is, but like I said, the details will be in the description box below. Pop that away. So that was Sunnyside Sampler, the drawn thread. The next is my one and only Deko Rouge. I did a start on this, and then I've not done anything else yet because it's on my WIP Go board. So when it comes to its turn on there, I'll do more on it. But this is Wind of Change. It's a 3-parter. Let me show you what it's going to look like as the triptych. Nope, that's not where I was. Here it is. So that is what it will look like when it is all completed. And I'm doing this on 28 count. So these are the two that I haven't started yet, and actually these are life size for how I'm doing it. I'm doing it on, like I said, on the 28 count, so that's the wrong way. So these are how big each panel is. And I have started on, what is that? Oh. I have started on this middle one. Sorry for all the crinkling there, by the way. And I just have a tinsy wincy start at the top there. So they're actually very generous with the fabric here. So that's, you know, this is the top right hand corner. So it is, you know, they give you plenty of room there. I was a bit sceptical at first, so I counted it about 6 times before I put my first stitch in, but it is right, they are very generous with those stitches. Oh, with that fabric. I'm doing that half stitch 2/1. Okay, what else do I have in here? I have my other Hade, so I might as well do this one now. Let me just bring back up my list. that one I started, sorry, January 2022. This next one, which is Lepidolite, is my last Haid that I started in February 2022. And this is going to look like... Why does it keep doing this? Sorry about this. It keeps taking me out of where I was. Very annoying. I'm going to scream. What is it doing? Ah, here we go. So this is what it will look like when it is finished. It's artwork by Elizabeth Welker. Since purple is my favourite colour, it's there's no hardship in guessing why I decided to start this one. I've started up on this corner here, and I'm actually doing this one, the parking method, doing it diagonal. I thought I'd give it a go, because it's easy on this one because there's a lot of colour blocking. I find if there's a ton of confetti I can't do it because there's too much temptation just to carry on. So all my other Haids have been done using the cross-country method, but this one I am doing parking, and I have done that much so far. So there we go. So that is Lepidolite, which I can never say properly, so I won't say it again. But yeah, again, this is 20. All my Haids now are 28 count, and it is 10 stitch 2/1, because I am very happy with the coverage that gives. Ow. This is another one that I've made myself. I do like these, but I get really stressed out when I'm doing them because I'm not the best sewer on my sewing machine, and this always ends up a bit jagged, but I don't mind. It's only for my consumption, so I'm not selling them or anything, so it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so next we have we have my Jeanette Douglas. So this is Halonze Merklop, however you pronounce it. I do apologise entirely for completely massacring that, but that is this glorious beast, which stitches up surprisingly quickly, actually. So there we go. This I started in February, and it's on the call for, which is well, this is 35 count silver grey, and I'm doing this am I doing this 2? Yes, I'm doing this 2/1. There we go. And I think I've pretty much hit the bottom there on that border. So I enjoy doing that border. It's good mindless stitching. It's got lots of speciality stitches on, and I can't wait for this one to be done. This I think is going to be framed. I do actually have another of hers that I want to start after I finish this one, but that's going to be, you know, that's maybe later on next year. But yeah, so I'm loving that one. There we go. So as I said, that's Jeanette Douglas, and I splurged on this. Oh, I love this bag. This is for a patchwork paw print bag, a William Morris fabric. Absolutely love it. I splurged on the silks for this one because they're absolutely glorious, and there's quite a few ones like this, you know, with that stunning variegation in, so I just thought, you know what, sod it. That one there. It took me a couple of months, but each month I bought a couple of them. Really love them. So there's that. And what I'm going to do is the other one I've bought, which I think is English Rose, I'm just going to reuse what's left in here. Just do like colour conversions and just reuse these, so I'll make sure that they're used well. Okay, next it would have been my Hay that I've already showed you. So now it is Teresa Kogart, Oh My Soul. Where are you? Oh, it has fallen down. Now this is in another of these William Morris bags by Patchwork paw print that I just couldn't resist getting. Let me show you what this will look like. Stupid things keeps taking me out. Nope, I have forgotten to save the picture, so let me very quickly bring it up for you so you'll see what it looks like. Da, da, da. Here it is. That is Oh My Soul. I just loved that. Yeah, so, oh, it's a bit bigger there for you. Like magic that appearing then. So, this I started back to here. Nope. Sorry. This I started in March 2022, right at the very end. And there we go, it's full coverage. This is on a 32 count. 32 count Mocha, Zweigart Mocha. I think it's light Mocha. There's no, it's not a vintage, like a vintage country Mocha, so there's no mottling on it, but it's just perfect for this. It's just a nice background for it, because this is, like I said, this is a full coverage one, doing 2/2. So, oh, and this comes with a little thread keep as well, which is very nice. Okay, so next, we're nearly at the end. Oh, sorry, there's a yawn down there. Next one is, this is my Prairie Moon, my current Prairie Moon. As you can see, I have two on the wall there, and I have my Christmas one, my Merry Xmas one upstairs, and I am working on zombies, which is just hilarious. And this is on, as all of them are on, which is 28 count. Is it Haunted? I'm sure it's 28 count. Picture This plus Haunted. Yeah. I bought a job lot of it to see me through all the ones I've got that I want to do. And I have completed one of the zombies and the pelican chair she sat on. And it looks gorgeous. There we go. So I know it's not to everybody's taste, but I just love it, and it's so enjoyable stitching on it. So there we go. It's a easy stitch and a quick stitch, so once I'm able to, I'm quite sure I'll be getting back to that one very soon. Why do I keep saying that? Okay, so there's my Prairie Moon one. Right, next we have a Caroline Manning one that I'm doing on, this is Peacock Topaz. So let me show you what this one looks like. There we go. Now, there we go. Love those colours. Now, you'll probably see that I've got a Caroline Manning behind me. It's got Pride of Place there. Now, when I was on the home straight on that, I just almost rage finished it. And I think I may have given myself a little bit of Caroline Manning fatigue. I have every intention of carrying on stitching this, so it's not a case that I'm going to archive it or anything like that, but I'm just taking a little break from them. It also didn't help that my initial plan had been to do this on 18 count, so I did a bit of stitching on the 18 count and then realised I hated the coverage 1/1 18 count on Ada and the coverage of 2/1 wasn't, it was too bulky and too difficult to get your stitches through, so it looked too untidy. For me it did. And I know that somebody had left a comment about a very, not a nasty comment about it, but had just mentioned that, she'd struggled, 2 over 2 on 18 count, and ultimately I had to agree that it wasn't working. So I changed it to 16 count, so I think it was all the swapping and changing and whatnot. We're kind of on a break, but that is what I have done on this so far. I'm not archiving this, it's not going to be a permanent break. I'm quite sure within the next few months I'll be picking this up because, excuse me, this is very easy, mindless, calming stitching. So I'm quite sure once I'm stitching properly again, I'll be back onto this one, and because the colours are just absolutely glorious. So this is 16 count Zweigart Ada, just in a kind of greeny, minty greeny. It just matches some of the greener colours perfectly. So this purple here is the actual fabric, which just works out like a mat on the frame. So that's what I want to do on this as well, just frame it like that and pop it up on the wall. So that's Carolyn Manning, Peacock Topaz. My next one is, that I started in April, by the way. Okay, so the next one is a Mill Hill one that I've started. It's a perforated paper one, but I am unsure as to whether or not I like stitching on perforated paper. It's this one, which is Moonstruck. Now I absolutely, this is such a fun pattern, and I've sorted it all out, got all my colours done. I really do wish that Millhouse, got Simpsons on the brain for some reason. I really do wish that Mill Hill would label these colours, because it took me forever with my my own DMC collection to make sure the colours were matched up, because there's various colours of purple and blue, and it's just making sure, is it light, is it medium, is it dark, is it this, is it, anyway, I did it, and then I started on the perforated paper, but I don't know if I'm liking it, so I could potentially restart it on 14 count Ada. I have not yet made up my mind. I don't know yet. But anyway, that's that one. 2 left to go. Now, this next one is a stitch along, and it's the latest Witchy Stitcher one. Now, I've already done one of these, which was the cryptid one, and I kept up with that. She gives you a month to do the frame, got the frame done within the month. And then each week that she dropped, I would get it done within 2 days, because I loved it. I just wanted to stay on top of it. And I had actually planned on staying on top of this one, but then I got the little one, so it's going to be a case of maybe over the next 2 to 3 months I don't get much stitching on it, but then I'll try and catch up as the months proceed. But I have done some on it. I have made a start on the frame. So the only pictures we've got so far are of the frame, because that is all she has released. This is actually a sister stitch to the Witchy Stitcher. It's called Supernatural, and she makes great pains in saying not based on the TV show Supernatural, but on supernatural elements. So I'm sure it'll be things like vampires and mummies and zombies and all of that kind of thing, which to me is right up my alley. So let me have a look at this is what the frame looks like. So they're little bats going up there, the frame, which is so cool. And I love those candelabras at the top there. So now I did my cryptid stitch along on 28 count Picture This plus Valour, which I love that. So I figured I would do this on that as well. This on that. Yeah. The piece I've got, I was holding my breath as to whether or not it would fit on, but luckily, because it's over dyed, it shrunk it a little bit, so I thought I was only going to get a tiny border, but it turns out that it's a workable border. So I did across the top there. I started off, so I've got the Supernatural done. Supernatural I've done in Etoile. You can't really see it in this because there's no sun coming out to really sparkle. But I do 3 strands of the Etoile and everything else is 2 strands of DMC 310. But I've made a good start on it. I'm happy with the start I've made, and also I'm happy with the fact that I do have more than an inch border on either side. So it should fit perfectly on this piece of Valour. And it will match with its sister, Cryptid. So I am very happy over that. I just do not know when I'll be able to finish that border. It may be a case of that I have to do bits of it as I go along over the next coming months. But whatever, I'll try and keep up with it as best as I can. Okay, so now we are up to the last of my current WIPs, and this is a restart. It is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. There we go. I had started this and I'd done quite a big chunk of this middle one here. It was done on 16 count Ada Rustico, which, perfectly fine, the fabric. I've got quite a few things that are on Ada. I've got absolutely no problem stitching on Ada, but it was just too big and I wasn't happy stitching on it, and I didn't like the way the Rustico was looking with the colours and blah blah blah, and I found myself not wanting to stitch on it. Not because I didn't love the pattern, but because of the fabric and how it was looking and how it was going to be massive and how it was just so stiff and whatever. So I made the decision to restart. I still can't believe I did it because I had got quite a chunk of that middle box done, but I'm glad I did. I'm restarting it on 40 count fabric, and I had a number of fabrics. If you look in my last video, I went through the 4 that I was potentially going, I was going to use one of these 4. 3 of them were Picture This plus ones. Valour, Valour was one of them, Gothic, and another one, a bluey one. But then I thought to myself, I'm going to be stitching on this for quite some time, and I want a fabric that I'm going to be happy with. As I've already mentioned, my eyesight is horrendous, and I have stitching on these 2 here, for example, and also my Chromatic Alchemy one. That's 28 counts, and on that dark fabric, I really have to work hard to see the holes on it, even with all the help. So I wanted something that I was going to be happy stitching on for the next however many years I'm working on this, but also was a lovely material, and I'd actually asked if anybody had any idea just to make a comment on it, and it was actually my friend Hannah who said that she actually really liked what I've ultimately decided to stitch it on, which is an XG Design My Little Dove. It's gently mottled. It's got these you can't really see it this way here. It is a bit more mottled than it looks like, and it's got these little stripes going through it that make it look like ancient parchment, and I really like it. It's easy to stitch on. It's just like the Vintage Country Mocha. It's not being warped that much because there's not that much dye being used on it. It's just so easy to stitch on. And so I've started on the house there. I've not managed to get much done because this has been started since I've got the pup, but I've started it and I'm happy with it, and I'm happy with my choice of fabric. I think the other colours are going to this top one hasn't really got much colour, it's not one of the really colourful ones, so I can't wait to get to these in the middle, because that was the other thing as well. 2 of my other fabric choices were very, very blue or very dark, and I was thinking the black is never going to show up on them because all this border is black, and you've got, there's a lot of black in this, and I did some test stitching and you just could barely see the black, and I was like, I'm not one of these people, you know, like Jen, Quirks and Stitches, who can, or, you know, Michelle, or Michelle Bendy, various other, and Julie from Kansas City Girl, who can just do, you know, like colour conversions. I'm crap at that kind of thing, so, and it just takes too much headspace for me. I can do maybe 1 or 2 colour substitutions if it needs to go a bit darker or lighter, but not a whole thing. And I just knew when it came to like doing the water here and all that black stitching, it would be a nightmare. So I'm very happy with my fabric choice on this. I think those colours, like the flames and all of that, are going to look lovely on this. So thank you, Hannah, because I hadn't really thought, you know, this had actually been coming towards the bottom of the list of what I was going to do. But when she made her comment, I was like, no, you're right, actually. So there we go. Oh, hello. She's waking up a little bit. Part 2 will be Poochie, come here. Would you like to see her? Poochie, give me a second. Come here. Oh, don't collapse on me. She's doing a floppy impression. Oh, there we go. Here she is, little Poochie, although not as little anymore. This is part 2 of my impromptu kind of WIP parade slash kit dive, stash dive. Oh God, sorry. As I said, this is part 2. I didn't really do much stitching in the last 3 weeks, so I thought, you know what, I'll just come on and do this. So WIP parade is in part 1, and now what I'm going to do is just go through some patterns that I've pulled out of my stash that are pretty much ready to go if I want to start them. There's maybe just one thing missing, the fabric not being one of them. And I have my little pupster on my lap here. I ended part 1 with her. We've just had 10 minutes little going outside and letting her do her business. So I just thought I'd quickly show you her before I put her down, because she was clamouring to get up on my knee for some reason and to be stroked. And I need to put her down though, because I can't get to my patterns with her on my lap. She's not a lap dog, really. Hey, Poochie, say hello. Oh, come here. There we go. So there she is. She is now 12.5 weeks old with giant paws, so not sure how big she's going to be, but I'm certainly looking forward to finding out. And she's in the I want to chew on everything phase, which is very fun. So my house is basically littered with cardboard and bottles that I've given her to try and stop her from chewing on me and my clothes. The cats pretty much stay away from her, so she doesn't ever go for any of the cats. But there's plenty of pet rugs that she drags around with her, and rather annoyingly she's also just started chewing on the training pads. So I'm going through a fair few of them, and not because she's using them, although to be honest she's very good at, you know, when I tell her when we go outside, she's very good now at going outside. But anyway, so there is the pupster news. She has grown quite a bit in 3 weeks. It's always funny how quickly animals grow over such a short period of time. But right, come on, you go and chillax down there and I'll get this done. Okay. Oh yeah, have a yawn. So let me grab a drink and we'll get started. So first thing I want to do is to show you some amazing stitchy kindness that I got after my last Flosstube. I was contacted by one of my amazing viewers who asked if I wouldn't mind if she sent me some fabric, and I was like, well, of course I don't mind if you send me some fabric. That's absolutely lovely. It's not required in any way, shape or form, but it's, you know, Of course. So she asked me what my favourite count was. I said, oh, it's 32 count. So I was just expecting a nice little piece of fabric, and then the other day, she's in Canada, then the other day it turned up, and to say I was absolutely blown away would be a mass understatement. Kaylee, who sent it me, she has her own shop called The Sewing Shop, which I am going to link down below because this fabric is absolutely glorious, and I'll also put her Instagram details in the notes below as well. But let me show you now. I'm going to show you some of the fabric because two pieces are actually in two of the let me start again, because two pieces of the fabric she sent me are actually already attached to patterns that are in my bag here, so I'll show you them as I come to them. But the other pieces I've got, these are glorious over dyes. Again, absolutely blown away by her generosity here. So this is a lovely little 32 count. This is 17 by 13. How amazing is that? I almost don't want to put anything on it. It's like a work of art. Just want to iron it and put it in a frame. It's absolutely stunning. So there's that one. Then this one. This is a 32 count. Again, how cool is that? There you go. Then this one, which I can see me putting some bright, vibrant, Halloweeny type thing on. This is a 36 count. Look at that. That's like if Murky from Picture This Plus went wild. Absolutely love it. Let's see. Other side. So yeah, so those are three of the pieces she sent me, and I do have another two that I'm going to show you. And the funny thing is I just was pulling these out and I was like, I can't believe these are absolutely glorious. And I pulled out four and I thought that's all there was, and I was putting the packaging to one side and I suddenly realised, hang on a minute, there's another piece in here. And it's actually one of the ones that I'll show you in a minute. But Kelly, thank you so much again. I know I've already messaged you and everything, but absolutely glorious fabric. And as I said, the details of her shop are going to be in my description notes below. So there we go. Again, that one that I showed you initially, I'm seriously considering just putting it up on the wall as is because it's glorious. Well, let's move on with what I've got in this container here. So these are all things, like I said, which are either 100% all kitted up and ready to go, or are pretty much there. They might need the odd thread or something, but they've all got fabric either attached to them now or that I've earmarked from my stash. And the first one is this Sarah Gamani. It's Wicked Christmas. There you go. And I'm going to do that on this Ada. Sorry, I do need my iPad because this is where I've put all my fabric on. Sorry, won't be a second. This is 18 count Zweigart Smoky White. There you go. And I'll be doing this 1/1. I did some little patches over there to check the coverage and it's absolutely fine. So there is that one. It's all DMC on this as well, so it's all stuff I've got in my stash already, so that's a nice easy one to get started on. If you can hear noise, it's because she's noshing on a cardboard milk container down there. She's quite happy, so I'm just going to leave her to it. Okay, next one is Raise the Roof Witchy Washi. There you go. And this one I've actually had kitted up for a while. For some reason I keep delaying starting it, but I'm going to use this gorgeous crafty kitten. I'm not sure she's actually doing this anymore, but don't quote me on that. Well, this is 32 count and it's flagstone. So this kind of has a greyy tan, very slight purpley colouring to it, but this will be perfect for this. And this is let's have a look. I know I do have the threads on this. Oh, it's also got the buttons that are attached to it as well. I think this is Sampler Threads and Weeks Dye Works. I know I got this kitted up at it's not great. What's the store now? It'll come to me, but I got this when I bought this in the shop. I got it. I bought all the threads at the same time. So, and the button pack. So that's that one. Sorry for the crinkling. Okay, next we have, this is a Dimensions. This is Max the cat. There we go. So I'll just be using everything that comes with the kit with that one. What are you doing? This one is one I am actually due to start next, really. It's Drawn Thread Welcome Halloween. I've got another one that's very similar to this that I have already completed that I've made a cushion out of, so I'm just basically going to do the same with this and make a cushion out of it, and it's on 28 count. I think this is either natural or raw Zweigart. I just need to do the edges. I don't serge them, I've not got a serger, but I do the zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. I can do that. And I'm basically using pretty much the same Weeks Dye Works that I used on the other drawn thread I did. Trick or Treat, that's the name of it. It was one that Rachel Ray was doing, and she'd had converted from the Dinky Dyes to Weeks. So I already had these, so I'm just going to use the same colours on it. And I have my little tiny, I think this is the smallest one you can get, Q-snap ready to do it. Because this, it fits on here with a good amount, because it's only small, but it's obviously not big enough to put in my normal Q-snap. So there's that one. Put this away properly. Right. Oh, my stomach's going to start growling now. Excellent. Time are we on? We're on about 2:20. I need to feed her at 3. Okay, so next one. Aha, cricket collection. Quite a few cricket collections actually. Let's pull them all out. So, the Nimble Thimble. That is the name of the shop that I got that witchy wash from, and got it all, bought all the threads and everything. So, first one is September. So I have all the threads for this, and I have the pack up there. And I think I got this from the Nimble Thimble as well, and I got this fabric cut for it, which again I think is like a Zweigart, either raw or natural. Now this is a witch alt. I don't necessarily want to do witch alt, and I don't know if I'm going to use this because I've got some other 28 count that I could use instead that's a little bit lighter, so I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with the fabric here. But either way, I do have fabric I can use for it. So this is ready to go. But I just love this one. I think it's really busy, and I'm going to enjoy stitching that. So it's variegated floss for the letters on there that I bought ages ago. So that's September. Right, so this is another of the fabric that Kaylee from the sewing shop sent me. This is a 34 count, and I'm going to use this on Bon Appetit, which I have the buttons for there. And look at this, isn't this absolutely lovely? I think this is just going to go so well with this pattern. It's greener than it's coming off in the camera, but I might end up doing it here and then save this for another one. I haven't decided yet, but that's what I'm going to be using. And this is DMC. It calls for some Chromatic, but I'm just going to use a toile. There's that one. Okay, next we have this one. It's called Home. Again, I'm just going to do this on some 28 count, maybe do this on Platinum. I might cut it from the restart I'm doing on Night Walk Down. But it's DMC, this, all DMCs that I've got in my stash. And these two, oh no, sorry, I'll show you this one first. This is the Great Pumpkin Conspiracy. Now this isn't all DMC in this, it's a mix of DMC and silken colours, which I have. Well, some of them I have. I'll substitute out others. But this is the last of the pieces that got sent to me. And so I'd been struggling on this one because I hadn't known what fabric I was going to use. And then I got sent this. This is a 30 count and it is perfect for it. Now what's not showing, I'll do it this way, there we go, you can see it a bit better, is the glitter in this. I think it's going to look absolutely perfect on this. So it was like a divine gift, absolutely perfect for this one. So that is what I am going to use. These aren't named, these fabrics, but yeah, I can see that going really well. There's that one. And then these are the last of the month ones I'm going to do. Well, the last of the month ones I'm going to buy. I do have May already, but it's April and November. But this November one, I'm going to start very soon. So what I might do is take the fabric that I've got for September and use it on this November one, and then choose something else for September, because they're pretty much the same size. So that is what I'm potentially thinking here. And I've got one or two on here that I've bought from 123 Stitch to complete the threads, and then this is ready to go as well. And April, I just think is just so cute. Okay, so I think that's the last of the Cricut collection. I think. I do have other Cricut collections, but I am not planning on starting them yet. Okay, so I have another Mill Hill here, and this is Wild Blue Cat. Now this is Laurel Birch, and two of the project bags that I made are Laurel Birch fabric, and it's the cat ones. So when I saw this I knew I had to do it. But this is actually on fabric as opposed to oh god, there's my stomach, I'm sorry if that's been picked up by the microphone. Instead of perforated paper, this has been done on fabric, so I'm sure I'll be much happier stitching on this one. But that is one of my potential new starts as well. And then I have another Dimensions kit, and this is Charming. I think I saw this one on, I think it was Kyle Brockmeyer. He did a WIP, not a WIP parade, sorry, he was going through his stash and I think all his dimensions and whatnot, and he showed this one and I just fell in love with it. So I bought it very cheaply from eBay. Yeah, so that's that one. And again, I'll just use everything that's in the pack on this. Oh, she's tucked it out down there again. Okay, so next we have Lindy Stitches Dracula Confession. I've got all the threads on here, and I have the call for, which is murky. Right, so we have Kathy Barrick. It's Moons of 2022, but Moons of 2023 are in there. But I think I'm going to do something similar to what Julie from Kansas City Girl is going to do. She is, instead of titling it The Moons of and then the year, I think she's going to call it The Full Moons or something like that. I think I'm going to do something similar to that, so it's not dated, because she was saying in her video that those moons pretty much remain the same. So I am just going to, I think I'm pretty much going to do that so I can keep it up permanently, because I think this is a lovely pattern and I want it up all the time and I don't want it to be aged. So that's what I'm going to do. I have the I'm doing this in DMC. It calls for MPI. I'm just going to do it DMC. And I have a 32 count from Picture This Plus called, and I think this is going to be perfect. This is Heartland. There you go. So that is what I am going to do that one on. Just fold that up. So that one is ready to go, basically, really now. Stay. Okay, next we have a Boffy Threads Flight of the Bumblebee, and I'm just going to use what's in the kit on this. I do like this Ada fabric that they do with the splashes on it. Okay, so second to last set are my Prairie Moon patterns. So my plan is to, every time I finish one, is to start a new one. So in my WIP parade, I, oopsie, just broke my little bag there. A bit too vicious opening this up. In my last one I did, in my WIP parade, I've completely lost track of what I was going to say then. Sorry, I distracted myself by my show of strength opening this. Right, so in my WIP parade, which I think actually, considering this might be a quite short video, I think I might just make this one video instead of doing two, so I don't have to edit it twice, basically, because I'm quite lazy, so I'll just have to cut certain things out. But Catherine, just get on track. Right, I'm currently working on zombies, and that will have been shown earlier in this video. So I've got 3 others here in the same series. It's the Crypt Club. I have the 28 count Haunted for them all. So I've got Bite Night. I have Martini Witches, which is actually the pattern that got me started on this. I saw Erin from 2 Martini Stitches on this one, and I thought it was brilliant. Went on the website, saw all the others, and just fell in love with all of them. So it's her fault, basically. And then the last one I've got is 3 Amigos. So I'm doing this using a combination of the Belsoir silks and the NPI, the needlepoint silks for all of them. I basically bought a job lot of it for the first one and added the odd ones now and then, but I'm just reusing them all for all the patterns. So I'm not buying fresh for every single one. So those are my Prairie Moons. And then the last ones are my Plum Streets. I have a number of Plum Street, and Again, at the start of this, I showed you my FFO, which was Buzz Off. So the next one I want to do is Eat Crow, which is this one. And then when I've done this one, I'll then decide how I'm going to finish these two. I'm going to use the same fabric I used on that, which is the 36 count vintage beeswax, which I have in here somewhere, which is this. The pattern calls for 1/2. Don't like the coverage, so I'm doing 2/2, which you can do with linen, whereas I find for 18 count Ada I don't like 2/2. But anyway, that's one of the ones I want to start from Plum Street. And the next one I then want to start is Toil and Trouble. And I've got a number of others that I eventually want to get around to doing as well. So, yeah, I've got, for that one, I've got this 36 count antique white, or potentially I've got another one that I might use on that Toil and Trouble. I've not yet made up my mind, but I have fabric for it. So those are basically my, all my new starts that are ready to go. Oh, well, all of my patterns that I've got, the fabric, pretty much got all the threads, and really the next ones that I want to do. I might end up putting them all on a tiny decisions wheel, and then every time I finish one in my current WIP parade, I might start a new one. It could be a few months before I do start them, but because I haven't been stitching that much, the other day I was craving something stitchy, even if it wasn't actually sitting down and stitchy. So I figured I'd go through all of, you know, do a stash dive basically and pull out all the ones. I don't want to start all of them at some point, but all of the ones I want to start now and that I know I could start now. So I just thought I'd run through them with you. I'm going to end this now. As I said, I had planned on doing this as a 2-part one, so it may seem a bit disjointed at certain places if I say, oh, well, that's going to be in part 2 or whatever. I'll try and edit where I can. I'll put a note on to say this is no longer a 2-parter, it's a 1-parter, something along those lines. But, oh God, my stomach is going crazy. It's the dog needs feeding and I need feeding. But I will leave it here. I'm not quite sure when my next video is going to be. If by some miracle I get stitching done in the next couple of weeks, it'll be in 3 weeks' time. If not, it might be a month or a little bit longer. But however long it is, thank you very much for making you. If you do make your way to the end of this, thank you very, very much. As always, I love all my communication with you, all the comments you leave. I'm very grateful for. Absolutely love it. There are people who do comment regularly and I look forward to those comments. I always try to get back within, at the moment I'm having to say within a week because work is starting, work is work, and then obviously I've got the little pupster down here, but I will always get a response back to you because I am always very grateful for any communication with you. Sorry, that sounded very desperate. I didn't mean it in a desperate way, I just meant I appreciate it. Yes, if you have enjoyed this, please do like, and if you're not already subscribed, and if you feel like it, please subscribe. And I will see you soon. So I hope you are all safe and well, and happy stitching. Bye.